Okay, let's do chapter 13. Nutrients that provide energy, which is your carbohydrates, fats, and protein. Our objectives: identify the three nutrient groups that supply energy and the amount that each contributes. Explain why children and adults are encouraged to increase complex carbohydrates and reduce refined sugars in their diet. Plan meals for one day with less than 10% of the calories from saturated fats and from added sugars. And discuss why proteins are not considered an ideal energy source. What is energy? Energy is the capacity to work or engage in activities. Locomotion, movement, building and repairing body tissues, blood circulation, body temperature regulation, digesting, observing, and metabolizing food. How much energy do you need? A person's energy needs are determined by a combination of the BMR, the physical activity, of the thermic energy, which is the amount of energy used to digest food and store or release energy. Or store. Your basal metabolic rate is the amount of energy needed to perform involuntary body processes, such as breathing, blood circulation, heartbeat, muscle tone, nerve activity, building and repairing tissue. What factors determine your BMR? Your BMR requires only approximately 1 calorie per minute as a baseline. The main factors are your age, which your BMR rate slows by 1% every year after your age of 25. The children's BMR is higher than adults. Your body temperature, it speeds it up in cooler environments, and it slows when too few calories are consumed. Your body composition, your muscle is more active than the fat tissue, so it burns more calories. Energy basics. All calories come from these three nutrient groups. You got your carbohydrates, your fats, and your proteins. Young children have a greater need for calories and essential nutrients than adults because of rapid growth, faster metabolism, and they have higher activity levels. And we can vouch to all three of those. They grow very fast. You can buy a pair of shoes for them this month. Next month, they may not can wear them. You can buy them a pair of pants this year. Next year, they have had a growth spurt and they're going up in the air. Can't even wear the pants. You have to give them away. They metabolism. They eat up everything in sight, and they don't gain any weight. The majority of them, but compared to an adult, we our metabolism is very slow at a certain age. You can eat and try to diet, and like the weight on your stomach goes nowhere, or your arms. um, they have higher activity levels. They're bouncing everywhere. Um, and you just looking at them like, where did they get this energy from? Because they need to pass it on to me. So we can all vouch that the children's energy needs are way different than the adults. Carbohydrates yield 4 calories per gram, should make up 50 to 60% of a person's total daily calories. Consist of two important groups. You have your starches, which is your grains, your sugars found in your fruits, your vegetables, and your milk. Okay, your proteins. Proteins provide 4 calories per gram, but are used primarily for building body tissue. Rich sources of protein is fish, poultry, pork, and beef, eggs, cheese, and milk. peanut butter, dry peas, beans, lentils, and soybeans. The only thing I really don't eat a lot of, I try to stay away from pork. I eat very little beef, but I love my fish and poultry. I like egg, cheese, and milk, peanut butter. I don't like lentils. And I don't care for soybeans. So, but majority of it, I'm hitting my protein target. Fats, 9 calories per gram. They should make up no more than 25 to 30% of a person's daily calories. They are presented in three different forms. You have your animal base, unsaturated, your plant base, and then you have your cholesterol, which is your animal base. Then you have they gave you another chart with all the different types of oil, your margarine, peanut oil, coconut oil, and it tells you how many grams per each oil. Your canola oil. Sometimes I cook with the canola oil. I use flaxseed, the dried flaxseed. Sometimes I pour it on top of my meat or my food when I cook it. It's to help with high blood pressure. Mhm. I use a lot of olive oil. I love olive oil. However, fats are everywhere. I don't care what you do, fats are just everywhere. And in most diets, they do have a positive role, though, but in only a small amount. You just can't eat a whole lot of fats. Not all fat is bad or unhealthy, though. Fat provides calories for energy. You have your mono and your poly, unsaturated fats, which are the preferred and the best sources. Your fat tastes good, but it slows digestion. It slows your digestive system down, and it makes us feel satisfied longer after a meal, which I can attest to that. Dietary fat is essential for healthy neurological development in children younger than 2. A knowledge fact. In what form is energy stored in your body? Is it protein, glycogen, fatty acids, or lactose? Okay. Childhood obesity. Obesity in children presents numerous short and long term challenges. Excessive weight increases child's risk of injury during play, which I have attested to that, and you probably have too. Children are often subject to bullying, yes, and taunting from their peers, which make them feel very bad and have a low self esteem and very negative self image of themselves. Children who are overweight are more likely to remain overweight as an adult. Children of some ethnicities are at very high risk for obesity. Obese children experience higher rates of sleep disturbances, asthma, muscle and joint problems, and diabetes. Okay, we're going to look at these charts for the obesity among U.S. adults. You can see here the yellow is the 25 to 30%. You have Florida. This was in 2024, 21. So basically, the percentages should not be compared before 2011. So right now, this is in 2014, it's probably way higher now. Very high. I guarantee you it's pretty high. This and look, that's the year 2014. Because right here in 2014, you have Arkansas sitting there 40 to 45%. And then you have in 2020, look, it has gradually moved Arkansas is still with us. Texas, Louisiana, Oklahoma, Kansas, all of our sister states, Mississippi, Alabama. Okay, let's look at 21. Look, compared to 22, just a year difference. 1 year difference. And then, oh my gosh, look at 2019 to 2021. This is so sad. Montana is in the white, but they're probably not. They have it's insufficient data for Montana, but it's probably, I guarantee it's probably in the red by now. Wyoming, Utah, Oregon, Maine. Wonder why they're still in the 25 to 30%. That would be a good something for research. But look, we went here 2019 and 21, and then 2019, 21 again, because these are the this is the non-Hispanic American Indian, and this is non-Hispanic Black adults. See the difference with our ethnicity? Yes. And this is just United States, period, by adults, by state and territory. Children who are overweight should not be placed on a calorie-restricted diet unless they are under medical supervision. It is important to address children's weight by implementing very positive strategies at an early age, because you don't want to make a negative impact on them. Just think how you would feel if you were obesity as a child. And somebody was talking to you in a bad way to make you feel negative about your weight. How would you feel? So you have to really watch what you say to children, because you don't want to scar them. And the same thing for an adult. Even if it was if you had a teacher in your class or one of your staff, you don't want to make them feel negative either, or have a negative impact on them. Helping children develop new interests that they will maintain, and not using food as a reward or a punishment. You don't want to say, well, you eat all your green beans, I give you some ice cream. That's a reward or punishment. If you don't eat all them green beans, you're not going to get them no ice cream. You're sure not getting them from this table until you're done, until you eat it all. You're going to bed hungry. Punishment. Making healthy dietary changes to include more fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lower fat foods. Replace the sugary drinks with water and serve as a positive role model. That's why during meal times, the teacher should always sit at the table with the children. Try to encourage them to eat it, even if you don't like it. Don't say yuck in front of the children. Don't say, oh, I don't like green beans. I don't want to eat green beans. Why are we eating green beans today? Try to encourage them to eat it. Even if they don't want to eat it, try to encourage them just to touch it, to smell it, do something to promote them and having be a positive role model with food. Okay, so that is pretty much all for chapter 13 PowerPoint. So if you have any questions or concerns, you can just email me, message me. Thank you. Have a good night.